Thank you for joining with me today for the Tax on the Cloud sessions. We'll assume that most of these, because we put up the sessions without much advertising or promotion, so we assume that most of the people that have come to online here are new. So I'm going to give a brief introduction of about GovReports. GovReports is the complete and independent SDR report and lodgement portal for business and tax petitioners to prepare and submit compliance and regulatory reports to the SDR-ready government agencies. SDR is short for Standard Business Reporting, which is the government technologies initiative to replace the current electronic lodgement service, or better known as the ELS system, which includes all the electronic tax lodgement software applications and perhaps over time extending to government agencies' portal and electronic lodgement services. Currently, GovReports is connected to over 13 government agencies, including the tax office, states and territory revenue offices and for payroll tax, and ASIC for financial statements lodgement. We have very limited capabilities for ASIC, but hopefully over time ASIC will come to play and extend the reporting, the report service available for SDR lodgement. So from the early days, we hear that tax petitioners and taxpayers' issues in meeting compliance, not only technology available was not reliable at the time, the process was difficult to follow. We learned also that they were in desperate need for more efficient and cost-effective and more streamlined systems to manage their business and personal affairs, from the simplest to the most complicated arrangements. So we developed and released GovReports with released GovReports in 2011 or earlier. We had the SDR capabilities through the accounting software, with an aim to provide secure and flexible data management services. With locally private hosted cloud applications, we integrate and map data source to make your workflow process easier. It is a direct end-to-end service available at your fingertips with online access. Since 2010, GovReports has become the complete software applications for tax petitioners to prepare, manage, and lodge compliance reports on behalf of your clients from a single entry point. Report services include activity statements, PAYG payment summaries, tax file number declarations, taxable payment annual report, tax returns, all the tax returns, SPT, payroll tax to all the states, and much more. We are unique because of whichever software that your clients or you or your clients use, GovReports will be the perfect fit for you to prepare and lodge to the ATO, or other government agencies will come along as they become ready with SDR capabilities. Even if your clients do not use accounting software, you can create and lodge reports for them directly as well. These include the PAYG, especially for PAYG payment summaries or taxable payment annual reports. ATO requires that you have, you upload the file from the software, but for many clients do not use software, you can certainly go to GovReports and create those reports accordingly and lodge direct. With a single login credential for all your reporting requirements from the one website, which has easy access from anywhere, anytime, on any device at this stage with internet access. The pricing is flexible. We have a flexible pricing structure, just so you can pay as you go or pay per use, or an annual subscription depending on your requirements. It's customizable, so you can choose whatever the services that you need, and use it accordingly and when you need it. It is innovative system, so it makes the process quite easy from the start. We have had very little training for our clients in the past, but certainly as we become more complex and adding more services to our services, we see that the need for us to show through how you can use GovReports. So why use GovReports? You get automatic pre-filling from ATO from 2016 for tax returns. Currently, not only for other reports, lodgements, activity statements, PAYG, payment summaries, and so forth, because we integrate with other software, so you can upload the file. You get pre-filling activity statements. You get pre-filling from the ATO. That's the document ID, the PAYG installment amount, etc. So depending on the reports, you get some pre-filling from the ATO. For tax return, individual tax return, as I mentioned, currently it is semi-pre-filled. So in other words, you need to download the pre-filling details of the client's tax returns for the client and download it in CSV file format and upload onto Gov Reports when you do the tax return. But from July onward, this service become automatically available for you without having to go to the ATO. Electronic record keeping is a lot easier. Unlike, I know many, we talk about electronic record keeping, we think of an email, we think of an electronic file, a PDF file, or etc. So with Gov Reports, the record keeping here, it's a lot easier because it's on cloud. So what it means is that you can go in, search for it anywhere online, even on your phone. You can, it just happens that your clients call and request for a copy, you can just go in straight into it, search for the clients and the report, and then send it to them directly from the system. That's we're talking about, so that it means that you do not have to search from your computer, on your disk, to basically find that file and then send it to your clients. It's a lot easier access. It's on cloud, easier to sort and locate the reports that you need. Of course, you get instant validation and lodgement, instant validation and receipt lodgement when you lodge any lodgement with Gov Reports. In the past, we have had cases where tax office call clients and saying that they never received the lodgements. Of course, our clients get panicked because they can see the report being lodged in Gov Reports, but ATO is saying that they haven't lodged. What they need to do is basically, we just advise them, because the lodgement receipt that we have within Gov Reports is initiated or generated by the ATO. So the client or you would be going in there, just send the lodgement receipts to the ATO officer that's questioning this client, and send it to them. That's their lodgement, their receipts, and they can verify and look into the system at the exact time and date from that particular system, and we'll be able to locate that report directly. The lodgement is unlike the ELS system. SDR, all the SDR lodgements are in real time. So what it means is that it will hit the central database a lot faster, and your clients get tax refunds or their tax returns get processed a lot faster as well. In cases, to explain this better, for example, if the client just happens to do the PAYG payment summary lodgement right now, in a couple of minutes, it will appear immediately in your portal for you to do the tax return for the employees that's in that report. We do have several authentication processes are inbuilt within Gov Reports. We do have optional ones as well. The ones that are currently available and are automatically free for you, that's the ABN lookup and also tax file number validation process. So when you enter the client's details, we do check these information to ensure that minimum error is being entered into the system. So when you do the tax return, less errors can happen. That's more so for the PAYG and like other reports, but certainly it affects your tax returns in the process. The optional and additional authentication process we're talking about here is also digital signature. It's also seamlessly integrated within Gov Reports. So for those that are interested in that option is available in there as well. And the fact that you can save, you can work at your own pace. That means the save and resume option is quite, for those that like work on the go. Certainly, from home or from anywhere, you can just basically go, have access to it, but also save the reports, whichever that return that you are doing, and then come back to it and ready for lodgement when you want to do. So it means it's basically free, like improve your work process, or if you've got staff member working preparing the tax return but need approval from you, that basically you can separate the process. They can prepare it, and then you go in and save it, and then you can go in, review, the tax agents can then go in, review the tax returns and do the lodgement. You make it, work it for you however that you want. Third thing is the ability to make the next thing is the ability to make amendment and revise and lodge revised reports. What it means is that, for example, this is not so much for tax return. I mean, tax return you can always do revisions, but certainly amendments of reports like the PAYG payment summaries, the taxable payment annual reports, if you provide that service for your clients. And of course, if you've got staff member working under you, certainly you can manage their access and capabilities in terms of their role on the reporting process or the managing of your clients. So that's generally the features. Currently, the available tax returns in Gov Reports, we cover all the tax returns. All tax returns come with full schedules as well. So company tax return, partnership, trust, SMSF annual return, fringe benefit tax, individual tax return, all from 1 to 5. All of that are through SBR. Currently, has been always through SBR. The only thing that's outstanding is still under ELS is individual tax return. All the SBR forms are currently available from 2011. So if you've got subscription with Gov Reports or you go into using Gov Reports, 2011 onwards is available for your client's lodgement. Individual tax returns from 2012. So going forward, and still for 16 will be through ELS. But from 2000 and somewhere in the middle of 2000 and for 2016, we will also implement the SBR, but we will let you know. Having said that, for you, the difference is that there is no difference. You basically simply use it, and as long as it works for you, our back end is that it will be SBR enabled from 2017 forward. Other tax returns will, as they become available from ATO, we will add it on as well in other forms. Some requirements to use Gov Reports. Really, we need only internet access, preferably Firefox, Google Chrome, Chrome browser, or best is to use the latest version, or Safari. Internet Explorer, yes, a lot of people, we realize that many have used Internet Explorer and be able to get in, but we've also noticed that because it is an old browser, it tends to hide some features that Gov Reports provide extra for you, but it doesn't tend to show up on the Internet Explorer. So preferably you use the Firefox, the Chrome, or the Safari. But otherwise, if you've got other, you use others, just give us a call and check out with, check with us. These are basically that you can download free from the internet anyway. You do need a registered tax practitioner board tax agent number to have a tax agent's account, and of course ABN and the related business details when you set up when you register with us. We do need your email for registration or part of your user profile or username. And if you're using individual tax returns, lodgement of individual tax returns from 2016 and earlier years, you do need ELS credentials. Going forward for 2017 onwards, perhaps in the middle of 2016, maybe perhaps a bit later, we'll add in SBR capabilities for 2016. That's when you don't need the ELS credential. But for now, if you are currently looking at using us, you do need the ELS credential. And if you are using us through the SBR system, ATO software nomination is required, and that can be done through from Gov Reports and via the ATO and also via the ATO. Why tax return on the cloud? Because one, you don't have to, unlike what you might be familiar with, the ELS software. There is no software installation, no software upgrade is required because we automatically upgrade it, and certainly all the tax returns that we added along the way, like over the in the prior years, you can also access to it as well. So it means one subscription you can access to the early years as well. And the fact that it is easily accessible from anywhere with any computer or any mobile device with internet, it means that you can work on the run if that is your requirement. Flexible pricing structure, because like I said, you can pay as you go with per use or per lodgement, or choose annual subscription if you've got more than 3, 4, 5 clients, and that makes it more flexible for you. But also at the same time, you can choose the modules the modules that are suitable for your business or your client base. So it's purely up to your requirement or your business structure or your client base. We integrated our GovReports is seamlessly integrated with our own applications, digital signature, and other applications as well. So it means that if you've got other things that you need from GovReports, you can also add on as you need them. So currently we like I said, GovReports has 2 systems, the ELS, both the ELS and SBR versions, and it works seamlessly. From your point of view, as a user's point of view, there is no difference. You know that it's, as long as they're working perfectly fine, and whatever's on the back end, whether it's ELS or SBR, it doesn't matter. As long as it works seamlessly for you, and we do have support. So if you've got any queries, just give us a call. Our support is available really from 9 to 6 p.m. But beyond that time, just send us email and we will respond to your queries as soon as we can. Usually we tend to attend to that quite promptly. Subscriptions will include also prior years access. So that's basically it. This is the pricing structure at the moment for all the tax returns, other tax returns including company, partnership, trust, fringe benefit tax, SMSF annual return. It's $129 per module plus GST, and ITR is $199, and that gives you that prior year's access as well. Other tax compliance report is $99 plus GST per year per module. Or you can, for tax return, if you prefer, if you've got limited clients, for a particular tax return, you can choose the per lodgement or per use, and that's $25 plus GST, or other forms will be only $12.50 plus GST per lodgement. The other optional services that we have currently is the Office Manager, which is the practice management tool. We have, this is the rebranded of CLM, and we have been it has been upgraded. We're just releasing the version 2. So for those that are interested in looking at that going forward from next week, let us know. That's the practice management tool. And of course the ledger, we do have detachable, the iSales, the purchase or the payroll. So the ledger can be broken up to detachable, and of course digital signature, which is what we call is digital authentication, is optional, and you can we call digital authentication, and you can choose that if this is something that you want to go into. And of course we have also recently released analytics. It is we're looking at releasing version 2 shortly with integrations with other software, so that might make it more easier for you for those that want to have access to those. What I'll do now is I'll go through a quick demo of quick tax returns, and of course, like I said, for those that want to, that have any questions, just let me know. General software, what is GovReports all about? So on the left-hand side, you've got the left-hand menu, your clients, your users, and of course your lodgements, which give you a little bit more than just your lodgement history. On the dashboard, you've got the Outstanding Report, which is one of the additional service for those that do activity statements at this stage. Outstanding reports only include activity statements, but very soon we will also add other reports on board. If you do have this, it's only $11 per year, and it will give you the unlodged reports that your clients have on your database. If you do configure it, which clients you want to receive, the unlodged reports. So in here you can see that I've been a bad tax agent. I've got 34 34 activity statements that I haven't lodged for these clients, etc. And if I want to click on it, I want to start working on it, I can just click onto that and it will give me the list of all the reports for that particular client that I haven't lodged. And of course, anything overdue, it will also give me the list here. And if I want to go for an extensive list, actually I can go here, view all, and it will give me the extensive list of all the unlodged reports that I haven't done. Like I said, at the moment, it's only configured for the activity statements, but if you want to do the configuration for other reports as well, you can. Like I said, the tax returns and other reports will also come on later on when later this year. So that's the outstanding reports. So I'll just go back to the dashboard and just go through what we have there. Anything that you save halfway through, anything that you save or draft, you can get. This is a shortcut to go straight onto it. And of course, anything that you've lodged, all of your lodged report, you can. This is also a shortcut that you can go into that as well. Today, anything that you lodge today, that will be shown on your today's lodgement. The due dates at the moment, mind you, this is a testing account, so I do have to do a little disclaimer. All the clients that you see here are not real, and all the ABN or tax file number that you see on this account are also not real. And because a lot of things are, this is a testing account, and a lot of things are not real, some of the outstanding reports and also the due dates might not also be the real thing. But certainly in your account, in your production account, this would be there will be a date, that due dates, the official due dates, that whatever due dates that are, it will come there and remind you. Certainly, because in my account here, I do have the office manager. So because this is my testing account, so I haven't done a lot of updates into what jobs I have and today's job, and assign work for my staff and so forth. But otherwise, if I do have something, I have in the past I have done something, and if you have assigned work to staff or yourself, you can go into and check, update the status of the job. Who has done it, who has been assigned to it, etc., and go on and just basically can see the details of what you need to do, and etc. So it is a practice management tool. So and of course, if you need to update the status, you can also go in, edit, or open the job and start working on that as well. You got your lodgement report and also your profile. And because it is customizable solution, so whichever that you don't want on here, you can also remove. At this stage, let's just call each one of these items here is a widget, and that's what we call it, because we don't know what to call it. So if you don't, some of these widgets that you don't want to have, you can remove them. So for example, if I don't have CLM or I don't have the office manager, I can remove the job, and that will be removed from my screen. Or, for example, the due date at the moment, because this is not live, or I want to put on the news, I can save it, and that due date will now be removed from my dashboard. And instead, I have put in the news. Let's move that. Just put your mouse there where you want to drag things. You can customize your own dashboard and put a place where and basically structure your dashboard how you want it to look. So, yeah, so it's entirely up to you. Just move it, and then the next time you come in, it will basically stay the same. So that's basically the dashboard. To do the tax return, so before I do it, I do a simple tax return. Let me just go through the clients as well. So if this is the first time that you use Gov Reports, you can import the client list. And your client list can come from your existing software, or it can also come from your ATO client list, or there's a couple of areas that a couple of places from the ATO portal that you can download the client list, including the client account running balance reports, the income tax lodgement status, or the outstanding reports, and also PAYG or whatever. If you use other software and you got your client list from somewhere else, let us know, and or give us a call, and then we'll configure. We see if we can configure that for you as well. Otherwise, if you adding the clients one by one, let me just go back to that. If along the way you're adding the client one by one into the system, a new client, for example, from end of this month, I'll say conservative from 1st of June, we will have the live client updates available directly from Gov Reports. So when you add a new client into Gov Reports, whether it's a business client or an individual tax return client, just simply put in the tax file number or ABN. Remember, I did say that our system, Gov Reports, is implemented with ABN lookup and tax file number validation tool. So wherever you put the ABN number in or the tax file number in, we do verify that with the tax office and make sure and pre-fill some of the information. So if you put the ABN here, you will get the client's name pre-fill onto this section. And of course, you need to then put in all the information in the red sections. And if you want to update these information on the ATO, the client update, click on our client update, and the purpose of you adding the clients, whether it's for activity statements or for income tax return purposes, once you fill in the details and etc., it will and submit it, it will update onto your the ATO database. That's this service will be available hopefully from June this year. If not, it will be the latest. Will be just that at the moment we're working with the ATO to enable these features. So if it's not available in June, it will be from July. But certainly it's very close. Okay, so that's basically the client. Pretty straightforward. Your users, if you've got staff member working for you, you can add them them into the account. But you do need to use buy user license for them and make sure that you allocate the user license accordingly to them if they are going to have access to your clients or your some of the reports, whatever. So once you have add them in, let me cancel that. I'll go back to my client list. Once you have added in, it will go to your client list, your user list. Go there and assign what you want them to get access to, whether you want them to be able to add new clients and launch for these new clients, or also what other reports you want to give them access to, depending on your subscription basis. And also then your clients, which clients you want to assign to this person, whether they can only prepare the report or do you want them to launch for you. So now that's basically the users. So once you add them on, it's automatically, the system is automatically update onto your account, and that's basically become active. Once you've done that, I'll just go back to the dashboard to do a tax return. So now what I'll do is a simple tax return. Before we do that, actually, let me also too with Gov Reports, because you can if you have anything saved for the clients, anything saved or draft. Assuming that I have done this, you can email to your clients. You can email the reports to your clients and get authorizations, but otherwise, you can also send for signature. Before I do that, I do want to go through a little bit of setting up like I said, if this is the first time you use Gov Reports, you do need to do the HU nomination, software nomination. This is basically to verify that you can use Gov Reports for launching reports to the tax office. That's where you get the HU nominations, and it's pretty straightforward. You get the software ID and contact the tax office either through your portal or calling them and confirm that you want to use Gov Report for lodgements. It is not an exclusive arrangement. So you can nominate as many software as you want if you have more than one software. Once you've done that, come back here and do the activation. The other thing also is that email settings, which is also an important thing as well. Anything that you can set up, customize your own email from here, and it means that going forward, when you send an email from Gov Reports or from using digital signature, it would use the email that you have nominated. and send the report through. So when your clients receive it, they know that's from you rather than from Gov Reports. So just make sure that if you do that, all these settings you should get it done before you start using Gov Reports, so that it gives your customers, your clients, and of course your business a lot more professional image. So like I said, done the email settings, and once that's done, you are ready to go. I'm going to go back to the dashboard, and like I said, I'm going to prepare a quick, simple tax return for you. So to do a tax return, simple, you can either go to your clients, my clients, and go to the client list and search for the clients that you want, or you can simply go to the search bar on the top and search for that client, and that will pull up the clients that you want. If you've got more similar names, it will show you the list, and then you choose the one that you want to work on. You either can click on the client's name or go into under actions. You can go into the view the client's profile, or click on forms. For now, what I'm going to do is I can click on the forms and it will take me straight to the tax return. But for now, I want to go through the profile so that I'll show you through the whole process. And if you're working in front of the client, it's also good if you do this process so that it looks like the software, that the whole application is all about them. The work in progress that you have for them, the overview of their account, or their name, their business, or whatever they have, their contact details. Anything that you have saved or drafted for these clients will be under the save and draft column. Anything that you've lodged for these clients in the past will also be available from here as well. And who else have access to these clients? So who else in your office will have access to these clients? Any jobs or invoices that you have raised for these clients will be also shown under jobs or invoices. You can go in and edit the client profile if there is a change in maybe perhaps a bank account details or email address or whatever. You can go click here and edit them, and that basically will also update onto the system. Once that's done, you can simply go straight to forms. Select the forms, the tax return, or the forms that you want to do, or the reports that you want to do for them. Now, in order to make this process a little bit faster for me, like I said, going forward from July this year, the pre-fill is automatic. So you can just click pre-fill and start, and that will basically automatically get the pre-filling for you of the ATO without you having to go there, download in CSV file format or whatever, and then upload onto the tax return that you do. So that will be available from July. For now, we're going to do this one where which, like I said, I have drafted to save us the time and data entry of all the details. I have put in some earlier data into this tax return. Like I said, it's pretty straightforward, personal details, just like any other tax return. So just go in and fill out a lot of the information on these sections will be pre-filled from the client's profile that you initially enter the client onto Gov Reports. So just check through if all the information are correct, and fill in the details where appropriately. So for example, if the client's a resident, confirm that. Etc. Just go through checking the bank account details is there, and also next thing, you look at the Medicare. When everything is all good, look at the Medicare and private health insurance details. Of course, all of these details will be provided by your clients, and you just input them in accordingly. Now note all the tax return form here. Anything that you see is clear. You can go in and enter the details. Where it's grey out, that means there's a schedule attached somewhere, and you need to find the schedules in order to put the details in. So in this section, it's pretty straightforward. You need to get the details from your clients with all the details of the private health, their Medicare and private health insurance, and put them in accordingly. Confirm the details. You would know all of this straight. For each section, when you're happy with it, save it. And click next. right? Because like I said, I'm not changing anything here. So save it and click next. So now the next section is the spouse section. If this client has a spouse, you simply just go into here. If the spouse already on GovReports account, you can simply link the spouse details and go and search for the client and link together in the tax return. If not, you can just simply enter the details and fill out all the sections required. Just make sure you also enter the taxable income for that spouse as well. Once that's done, pretty much straightforward. Anything else applicable, you can just you can fill that out. Otherwise, click save. And now we're ready for the income section. When you get to here, like I said, confirm, it's pretty straightforward, fill out the details. The ABN, like I said, the employer's ABN can be entered here and it will be pre-filled and cross-checked with the name of the entity. You of course, enter all the details from the group certificate or PYG payment summaries that the taxpayers have. Fill out all the details. Where appropriate, like I said, anything grey, you can't enter the details. You need to basically find the schedule appropriate for that section on your left-hand side here. So let's just say that we're gonna, I have entered here some rental schedule. I can just go into the rental schedules on the left-hand side. Add in the property details. If I have already added something here, but certainly if I want to go back in and check that, I can. But otherwise, if I got another property that I want to add in, so click add, and then we'll just basically a clean sheet of the schedule, and I can enter the details. Now I don't have that, like I said, very quick. I'll just go into the schedules and edit that. Like I said, you can enter all the details of the property, the rental property. Ownership, if there's more than one more than one person owning this property, then you can also enter the details, percentage ownership, and etc. But otherwise, if that's not applicable, just delete the row, all the income, etc. And of course, if any expenses that are not covered here, you can also add in the new row. Like I said, if this is a brand new thing, you would obviously want, but certainly, you can just basically add as many rows that are applicable to the client and verify which section, what it is, and put in the details. Once that's done, you save it, and that details will then come across to the tax return with tax return form. Yep. Then once we save it, close it. I thought I saved it already. Yes. And now I close it. Sorry, my internet is a bit slow. It's taking forever. All right. All right. Once that's done, now what I'll do is I'll add in the business worksheet or the business income, assuming this person is a sole trader, and he's also done some work as well. So he has a business name under a small business. So I have added, like I said, I have added some details earlier, and whatever that the income from the business, the details that you add here will be also updated on the tax returns that you're working on, and that will be part of the grey section that will come on as well. So, like I said, just go through the details, and if you're not too sure where it's grey out, that's basically you can't fill that. You've got to fill in the clear section. Once it's done, fill in all the necessary fields, save it, similar to the rental schedule. Once you have saved, just waiting for it a little bit slow. Once you have saved it, close it, and that will update onto the tax returns that you have right there. Like I said, all the grey sections you can't fill in. You need to fill in only the clear sections. Okay, so that's assuming that everything I'm happy with that, and interest, etc., or any dividends you can put in. You go to dividend schedules, so forth. So once you're happy with it, save it, and then go straight up and go next. We go to the deductions. At this stage, you're ready for the work-related expenses. Just basically adding all, because it's clear, so you can go in and fill out the where appropriate. Just adding more rows if you need to. So at this stage, I don't need it. So let's just say that we're happy with this tax this whatever we have there. Adding all the, like I said, where it's applicable, adding more rows or putting the details where the clear section is, give it a description, and putting the figures and confirm it. That's it. Happy with everything, then we save. Once you have completed the income and of course the deductions, certainly now you can go to the errors and check if there is any errors. Of course, you can check the errors along the way. If this basically, if I had this all clean and sweet, I can check it at every step of the way, the errors, if there is any errors along the way. But if you're an experienced tax preparer, then, of course, after the income and expenses, then you can go for the errors. If there is any errors, it will also give you an arrow to basically click on so that it will take you straight to that section where the error is found, and then you can correct it from there. If there is no errors, because since we have no errors, you now can basically, print the tax estimate. So we have an idea as to what sort of refund, what sort of return we're getting for the client, and if that all sounds good, looks good, you then can, this is a PDF version, so you can give it to the client, or if you're happy with everything, then your client is happy with everything, you can now print the report, and that will give you access to the full report, and of course your own PDF. You can give it to your client, you can print it out, but otherwise, you can go through all of this and just make sure your clients explain to your clients whatever that your process is. Otherwise, if you're happy with everything, go to the declarations, check all the information correctly. If everything is all well and good, we go to the save and loss section. At this stage, depending on whether you are the preparer, which is basically, it might mean that you have assigned a staff member who only have access to the preparing access, so they can save as a draft, and that will come it will come on your the tax agents or the person who authorized to lodge to review and submit or get authorization from the client. That simply depends on your workflow. What I like to do is to save and validate. It means that save, validate, and check for all the errors. And yep, I'll save and validate. But otherwise, if you have digital signature, you can save, validate, and send for signature directly from here. Or if you already have printed out a copy for your client to sign right there and then with you, then you can click lodge immediately if you've got a hard copy with you. So I'm going to save and validate. Once you save it, from the save reports, you can see here that it was done just earlier. It was done on today's date, the 17th at 5:49. You can check the status. It's now valid. It's now a valid report, so you can click on that. You can also, if you click print, it will give you the printed versions of the tax returns or the completed tax returns. You can email it to your clients or yourself or someone else, depending on your whatever the arrangement that you have. You can see the attachment is there. You can change all the content from there. As I said, if you've got the email settings, which I've showed you earlier, then it can also be sent from your email. So it means that going forward, we prefer that you do have email settings when you set up the account with us, simply because when you send anything through the system, and it also means that It's sending because it's sending from your email. That means you can track it. You can track and trace it. If your client's saying that they never received it, you can go back to your email and check if it has been sent already. You can change the details, the subject, because this one is sending to myself. I had my signature. Otherwise, if you send to your clients, notice that the signature, the email signature also come across as well. And yeah, like I said, if you've got email settings done correctly, then you would be able to send from your email. Okay, I'm not going to send it, but that's basically you are using the email versions to send off your clients for signature. But otherwise, what I like to do is just a quick show through of digital signature for those that are interested in those. So if you want to send this for digital signature, you can also send it from there, from the Gov Reports. Just go into send for signature from there. Now, in Gov Reports, digital signature will be for all the reports generated by Gov Reports. You can only send for digital signature only if it's a valid status report. Otherwise, you have to send it. You have to. Otherwise, you have to give it a PDF version and upload onto Gov Reports as an external document because Gov Reports only accept the valid reports. But you can certainly send non-Gov Reports reports. Oh, what a term. Just simply go into new and upload the file. But here you can see for this one, because it's a valid tax return, valid report tax return, so we're going to try to send it off for signature. If you have a letter of authority or maybe a letter of engagement or the invoice that you want the client to sign off or something, or whatever, you can upload the file. Just basically go straight into that and upload the file and send it along with the tax return. Or it might be something else, it might not be the tax return, it might be something else, whatever that you want to send it. Or it might be, I don't know, like I said, letter of engagement is a typical one. That's if you want multiple documents. And if it's more than, like 2 people that need to be signed on this, you can also add additional recipients, document recipients. You can change the role, whether this person can only view only documents or they need to sign. You can send private messages and general message for everyone that's receiving these documents. There is also reminder setting in here, so if it means that, in the busy practice and you want to make sure that the client signs this document by a certain date, you can also set a reminder, put in the date that like how often you want it to be reminded, and for how long, etc. And then whether this document has an expiry date, because most tax returns or most of the compliance reports do have a deadline. So make sure expiry date as well, because if they lodge beyond certain, after the lodgement due date, certainly they will get a fine, and it might not be your fault because if you don't get the document back in time. So say, for example, BAS is due in 10 days, or last day to lodge a tax return, the SMSF tax return is today, and whatever you can set the expiry date for this document as well. And of course, when the notification of expiry, you can also set that. Once you've done the settings, click next. And if there's more than one recipient, then you could see the different recipients here, but otherwise, just go through the document. That there's 14 pages, so we need to click to the next page to see the view the next page. For simplicity, let's just say that I want the client to sign here. Just one spot. Of course, you can go through the document, click the next page or whatever, and let's just say that I want him to sign here also, right? I won't go through all the pages, and if assuming that I'm happy with the tax return and I want to send that off for signature, okay, he will receive it. Now, I did not notice where the email has gone to. But certainly when the clients receive it, they can open the document from the email address. It will open up the applications, and they then would need to go back and get there will be a security code that be sent to them. They need that security code to enter the document. So once they open that document, it's pretty straightforward. Create the signature. They can type their name as signature or upload take a screenshot of their signature and upload it onto there and save it for future references. But otherwise, let's see if I can get access to my email from here so I can show you quickly what it looks like. Okay, right. Sorry, I did not remember which email I sent it to. Yeah, I don't have, my apology, I don't have access to this email. I don't have a password. So, like I said, it's pretty straightforward. It takes really seconds or minutes to actually to sign it. But like I said, you can go to the digital signature webinar that I have done in the past or going forward, and then you can see the view how the recipient received. But it is very straightforward. It can be done within minutes, a minute or seconds. So once they've done it, once they sign it, go back to your. Either you can say here it will update the status as to instead of pending for signing to become signed. It's through the system, and the client will once they sign it, they get a copy of the report, the copy of the report that has been signed by them. You will get a notification that the client has signed it, and it also updates onto the system and also onto your digital authentication as well as your side reports. Just go through a typical example. Just go back to bird view. Notice here we got the valid processing. Now we got earlier we got a valid status. Now we got a valid processing and waiting for signature. But otherwise, if it has been signed, we'll just have a look at some of the. If it has been signed, it would be valid and signed instead. So similar to that, valid and signed, and then that means now you're ready to basically tick that and ready to lodge the selected. Once you click the lodge, that means it's ready to, it's done. So that's basically the process for lodging tax returns. Similar to for the company or trust or whatever tax return that you do, the same process, the schedules, all the tax returns within GovReports include all the schedules, full schedules and worksheets. So let us know if you know how you go. But yeah, it's pretty. I think it's pretty straightforward. I mean, for me it is. Sorry. So that's basically the process. There you go. You can also, if you are, depending how you set up your business, if there's more than one staff, and like I said, you can tick multiple lodgements, go through each one of them and click multiple and lodge in one go. That's if you prefer. But that's basically, once it's lodged, you can go back to your dashboard and you can see the lodgement, that today's lodgement has been done. So that means it has gone through. Okay. So that's basically it, guys. Any questions? If you've got further questions and you know, along the way or you know, offline, simply just give us a call on you know, we do have a 1300 number that you can contact us. Yeah, and yeah, let us know. Or otherwise send us an email, info@govreports.com.au.